We already talked about Pinterest trends in the last video. In this video, I want to talk about Pinterest Predict, which is kind of a similar website, but still gives you even more topics to create content for. The name, as I said, is Pinterest Predicts, and it's part of the business.pinterest.com page here /Pinterest Predicts for this year. And they always create it for this year and kind of want to give some forecasts on trending topics. You see here that they have a 80% correctness with their forecasts. So in fact, for the last 3 years, 80% of our report predictions came true, which is right. I checked that since 2020 actually. So actually these 3 years, and the predictions are always pretty good. Here you can scroll down and then filter by audience, brand values, and categories. And then you get different topics that you can create content for, but also then of course a bit more stuff like keywords for this topic. Let's say, for example, we filter here by audience and we have boomers, Gen X, Gen Z, and millennials. And I want to target only millennials. Brand values are authenticity or inclusivity, self-improvement, whatever. Let's go with these two. And category here is beauty, celebrations, entertainment, fashion, and so on. In this case, I want some fashion things. That's why I go here. All right. And these are now my filters. Perfect. Then I can check that. And I see, let's go here. Gemini hair or micro makeover, airy styles, and I open this. Okay. There's also a quick description, for example, crown care, heads up, the future holds a root revival. All right. So we can check that by scrolling down. And here I now see different, let's say, topics by scrolling down. I see trending on Pinterest in this category airy styles is shimmery dress with a plus of 365%. And they predicted this will be a continuous trend here, but also ruffle shirt man and so on. And we can check that actually on Pinterest by going on Pinterest. We can search that here and check some pins. Okay, this is really shimmery, glimmery. All right, and we could now pin here for this category because it is a trend currently, yes, but Pinterest also thinks that this trend will continue. And these are the categories, subcategories, but also, of course, the keywords we would then use and we would search. Now I would go here, would search for some pins and then check them to see what keywords they used in the descriptions and also, of course, in the title. All right. What else can we use? Let's go for another category. And actually the funny thing here is that this page, this prediction Pinterest page here, looks different every year. So it's every year a new page. And I don't like the one from this year, I have to say, because it's a bit too much for my eyes. But yeah, by just clicking through some categories, it still makes sense. Maybe what fits the fashion topic, fringe with benefits, all right. And what we also can do is click here on download PDF, browse by vertical or save the report for later. Download. Then we get this year's report, which is pretty long actually, so 7 pages. And here we can click through different topics again, which are the same like on Pinterest Predict, so on the page. And we see all the different topics they have here in their forecast, also in this kind of summary. We had in fashion airy styles, shimmery dress, lace top, blah, blah, blah. So these topics we also had before. These are the same, all right? So this summary is maybe easier than just checking that by clicking on the different categories, because here we have everything in a summary. And by collecting these, I don't have the ones from last year actually, but by collecting these, you can also check later if the predictions were correct or not. Let's check this one here, fringe with benefits, also as they said some description here, and then the different categories here or keywords. And if something makes sense for you, for your brand, for your business, you can just use this topic and go a bit deeper. So for example, fringe wedding dress, search it up here. Let's see what kind of other keywords are connected to that. All right, then check the first pins. What keywords are in the title, in the description? What have they used? Just to check if this makes sense to create content for this category. All right, this is Pinterest Forecast or Pinterest Predict. I like to take a look at that once or twice in the beginning of every year, just to get an overview about new trends that might come up in the next year or in this year. But yeah, I wouldn't kind of go into new categories only because they might be nice. So I wouldn't create content for fringe wedding dress if I have nothing to do with that, only because the forecast is good. So just check if some of the topics have a connection to your brand or business. If this is the case, then yes, go with it. But if it's really out of your circle of competence, basically, then just leave it out and stick to Pinterest trends, which is for really everybody and not only for people that try to catch a new trend.